Hello, beautiful people. I hope all is well. I hope all is well. If you are new to my page, my name is Allison Wellington, certified dating and relationship coach, and I primarily work with busy professional women to teach them how to attract and keep the husbands that they deserve. Every Wednesday, I do this very particular live stream. It is called live Q&A. And I just had to think for a second, like, what is it called? It's called live Q&A, where I take all of your questions around dating, around relationships, as well as any personal questions that you may have for me. So again, if you are new here, please go ahead and drop your questions on YouTube. So you can do a couple of things. You can go to YouTube and you can put in a line with Allison, or if you're watching this on Instagram, then all you have to do is comment the word YouTube right now in the chat, and a link will be sent automatically to your DMs where you could click on it and you can join us on YouTube. All right. Does that make sense? Is that reasonable? Is that fair? So again, I'm just waiting for you guys to come into YouTube to drop your questions. We do this every Wednesday in the 5 p.m. hour. I say 5 o'clock because that's the goal. And then sometimes I take a late nap and then it ends up not being the goal. But nonetheless, I'm here for you for whatever questions that you may have around dating, around relationships, any personal but reasonable questions that you have for me. And I'm here to be your support and guide through your dating and relationship life. Is that fair? Is that reasonable? Does that make sense? So I did have some folks who submitted some questions in Instagram land. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up as I wait for you guys to drop whatever questions you may have. Un momento. Someone asked a question, but I'm going to wait for that one because I want to make sure that I'm dedicating my time around dating and relationships. This person asked a question personally, and y'all probably don't care. So I'm going to hold on to that one. Here we go. Okay, so hi, Allison. I reached out because I wanted to know if this man I'm seeing is right for me. I go through your video clips daily where you answer questions, and quite a few of them resonate with me. But then I saw a recent update on on a success story that you posted, and you said one of the requirements to be in your program is that you have to be totally single. All right, so this is a good question. So again, if you are just coming in, I'm Allison Wellington, certified dating and relationship coach, and today is a weekly live Q&A I host every Wednesday during the 5 p.m. Eastern hour. I do this live stream through Instagram, through Facebook, and through YouTube. But if you're coming on live, please ask your question on YouTube. That's the only way I'm going to see it. If you are asking on Instagram, I am not going to see it. Okay. And this person had a question around working with me and coaching and how it all works, which is a great question. So there are 3 ways to work with me in 2026. There are 3 things that I do and 3 ways that I get my clients results. So way number 1 is through one of my 12-month mentorship programs. So if you are a single woman, that means you are not in a committed relationship. You are not seeing anyone in a committed way. You may be going out on dates or not, but you are not committed. There's no one that you could walk into a restaurant one day, see them sitting at a table there with another woman, and you're losing it because they're cheating on you. If you need to break it down that much, right? Situationships do not count because in a situationship, you do not have a right to demand exclusivity because y'all are not exclusive. Good. So that's called The Partner You Deserve. Again, it's a 12-month mentorship program where I work with my clients to teach them how to attract the husbands that they deserve. This is what we go through. Number 1, in order for you to get into the best relationship of your life, you first need to learn how to vet and discern. In order for you to vet and discern properly, you first need to be clear on exactly what you require out of a partner and a partnership. Literally, pen and paper, write it down, get clear. What do I require out of this man? What do I need out of a relationship? And how am I going to contribute to the relationship so that I am fulfilled in this romantic relationship? Once you have that down, now you are going to generate questions. You are going to list behaviors that this man has to have in order for him to be a great match for you. I also need you to be reflective. Do you have the behaviors and traits that your ideal guy would require in order for him to be with you? It's not a one-sided street. It's a partnership. So a classic example I always give is one of my clients, when we were going through her non-negotiables, she said that she has to have a guy who's a great communicator. So I said, tell me more. What does that mean and why is that important to you? She goes on to say that she's not a great communicator. She doesn't express her needs appropriately. If ever, she allows things to bubble up in her and then she explodes. So she needs someone to model that behavior. I said, absolutely not. I said, so what you're going to do, because she was already working with a therapist, is you are going to have further conversations with your therapist about how to communicate more effectively. Now, in my coaching program, I also go through that, but my program is a dating program, right? When you're working with the therapist, you're talking about the way that you relate to yourself and the way you relate to everyone that you have a relationship with. That includes your colleagues, your family, your friends, right? So you're going to talk to your therapist more about how to communicate more effectively. How can you demand something out of someone that you don't have and think that they are just going to carry the load, the emotional load for you for the next 50, 60 years? That's outrageous. And when men try to do it to women, we are outraged, as per my post from yesterday with this 70-year-old guy talking about, he's 70 now. And for the first time, he's coming to the realization that he didn't know how to love before and he's figuring out how to love now. Now, the thing is, I actually watched the entire video of that roundtable discussion. If there's anybody in the comments who's watching this now or watches this later, has no idea what I'm talking about, just let me know what's the video. I'll send you the link. It's a roundtable of about 8 Black gentlemen, ranging in age from about, I would probably say about 30 to 70. And this gentleman says, I just learned how to love. I'm going to be 70 this year. Okay. That went viral because there's a whole big argument and I spoke on it. What I did not include on purpose, because I was not looking to be divisive or difficult, right, is that I watched the entire 1 hour and 42-minute video. He went on to say and explain that what he meant by not knowing how to love meant not knowing how to stop cheating. He talked about how he cheated on his partner over and over. He said, I hurt her over and over and over again. And he's just figured out how to stop. If this was an issue of someone who wasn't a strong communicator, especially a man that's 70 years old, right? A baby boomer, where culturally, especially a Black man, where culturally, this is someone who was men in general, then men his age, then Black men. Sorry, y'all. I forgot to put my phone on D&D. Where are you guys? Okay. If this was an issue, if it was a man his age, or a Black man, right? All of that being said, I would give a little bit of grace if he said, I wasn't the greatest communicator. I wasn't allowed to express myself. Men in my generation were encouraged to hide their feelings. I would say, you know what? He's absolutely right. He's talking about cheating. I digress. Point is, yes, Nikki, surprise face. Hi, Nikki. Nikki, Nicole, welcome. Everyone else who's coming into the live, welcome. Okay. With all that being said, if you want to get into the best relationship of your life, you need to be clear on exactly what you require out of a partner and partnership. And then you also need to make sure that you have the things or can complement the things that you're asking for. You want a gentleman who makes X amount of money. Okay, we live in a capitalistic society. That's not unreasonable. Life is expensive, right? And you don't want to struggle, and you shouldn't have to if you're not struggling, especially. Are you a good steward of money? We have to be reasonable. So that's step one. And this is what I teach my clients. Number two, in my coaching program that gets hundreds of women in healthy, committed relationships every single week. Number two is going to be, and this is kind of a offshoot from number one. Number two is going to be, how are you showing up in your life, in your relationships, romantic or otherwise, right? Romantic, platonic, familial, professional. If there are behaviors and traits that you exhibit that are problematic, you have to change them. I'm going to then go back to the viral moment that's happening right now with this gentleman talking about he's 70 years old and just figuring out how to love, aka just figuring out how to stop cheating because he probably doesn't have the drive that he used to have, let's put it like that. And he doesn't have the pull that he used to have. So now he's magically figured out how to stop breaking his partner's heart. Anywho, working on you. You have to be reflective and you have to be honest about how you're showing up in the world. And if you are not reflective about how you're showing up, but you recognize that things keep failing, You then at least have to have what I would like to think is common sense and say to yourself, I'm the common denominator. I am not showing up. Something is not aligned. Like something ain't working out here. I don't know what it is, but I keep ending relationships in an unhealthy way. I'm not getting to the next level. Something is off, and I don't know what it is. So, at minimum, I need you guys to be like, I keep having the same cycle. I am the common denominator when it's with Michael, my boyfriend, when it's with my sister, uh, Dominique, when it's with my colleague, Antoine. I keep getting into the same cycles of arguments, disrespect, passive aggressive behavior, whatever it is. I'm the common denominator. It can't be Michael and Dominique and Antoine all the time. So while I may not know what behavior it is that is holding me back and how I'm showing up in a way that's holding me back, at least I'm aware enough. My eyes are open enough to know that I'm the common denominator. Therefore, I need to reach out to some professional help in order to resolve it. Now, let's say you don't have insurance. You're in the US and our health insurance, because I have clients outside the US, right? And viewers. Our insurance is attached to our employment. So let's say you're unemployed or underemployed, or you just don't have an insurance package that allows for you to be able to see a therapist and you can't afford one out of pocket, then you need to go on Amazon and you need to start searching for books that will help you to be more self-reflective. You ain't got $7 for a book on Amazon. You're watching me right now, which means you have a smart device and you have internet. You need to go on YouTube and say, how can I be more reflective? But the excuses that I have been hearing, particularly about this gentleman, because by the time that my clients work with me, they are reflective enough to say, I may not know what the problem is, but I know that I'm a part of the problem. Allison, can you help me? And I help them, right? The excuses, he comes from a different generation. They didn't know about therapy. He knows about it now. He knew about it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? How many times are we going to make excuses for poor behavior, no matter who it is, no matter how old they are? I have a 3-year-old. I still hold her accountable for some of the behaviors that she exhibits so that she does not become a maniac in her teens and become a headache for me, my husband, and for society and for herself. Everyone has to be accountable. Everyone has to be accountable. All right. So again, I digress. What are we talking about? How do you get into the best relationship of your life in under 12 months? This is the proprietary system I teach my clients, which is what I'm bestowing onto you because that's what someone asked for today's live Q&A. We do this Q&A every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. If you have a question, you have to join me on YouTube, same name, Align with Allison. If you're watching this on Instagram, all you have to do is in the chat that you're looking at this right now, comment the word YouTube, and I'll send you the link immediately to your DMs. Good, great. So the question was, well, do you work with people who are not single? And of course, I've gone in a different direction and went with how I help with people who are single. Quick question is no, or quick answer is no. I don't only work with singles. I do work with women who are in relationships. We will get to that. All right, cool. So number one is getting clear on exactly what you're looking for in a partner and a partnership, writing it down on paper, making sure that you have the things or you can complement the things that you are looking for, and then generating the questions and generating the behaviors so that when there is someone who's in front of you and you're there to assess whether or not they're a good match, you know what to ask. All right. For those, my clients, I help them generate their non-negotiables and I give them the questions to ask and the behaviors to pay attention to so that when they start dating, either joining the program or within it, they're prepared. Number two, being reflective. What are some of the behaviors and traits that you exhibit that makes being with you less desirable? And I'm not talking about things that are generally good behaviors, right? I'm talking about the ones that are problematic, that are maladaptive. What is a problem for you? I'm argumentative. I'm difficult. I don't express my emotions appropriately and then I blow up, or I don't express them at all. And then the person never knows what to do, how to do, what to behave, right? Like whatever it is, that's problematic. Okay. You don't listen. You don't consider other people's feelings. You are selfish. You are shallow. There's something. And either you need to realize something is up, so then let me get some help from a professional, or you know what it is, and then you figure out how to do it on your own if you can so figure it out. A professional, a book, a YouTube video, work it out, right? Number three is going to be dating apps, leveraging dating apps, knowing which dating apps are the right ones for you and creating a winning dating profile so that you can attract the right people and repel the wrong ones. Now, I know I listed this in number three, but Three and four, that order doesn't matter. All right. One and two matters. Number three, you could do dating apps, or you could do number four, which is in-person interaction. Now, when I say and or, I know there's a lot of people who reject dating apps. Let me tell you right now, you can reject them. You don't have to use them. There are plenty of people who are meeting online, plenty of people who are meeting offline. I prefer offline, but I'm also not going to throw away a very valuable tool that is proven to help enough people that I think it's worth my $39.99 a month. Good? Okay, good. Now, with that being said, if you ignore dating apps, that means that we're doubling down on our in-person interaction. Are you an extrovert? Are you willing to go outside more frequently? Do you have the energy? Do you have the finances? It's expensive. It's upkeep, right? It's going to be makeup. It's going to be more clothing. It's going to be gas. It's going to be tolls. It's going to be parking. It's going to be Uber. It's going to be food. It's going to be drinks. If you got it, I got it. Let's go, right? If you don't and or don't have the energy, then you also need to be using dating apps in tandem, ideally. But if you refuse dating apps, cool, you need to be going out twice as much. That's once a week, right? I tell my clients every other week, twice a month, because we couple it with dating apps. If you're not going to couple it with dating apps, if you got it, every week, cool. Now, when we go out, right? So now we're on step 4 or 5 onto how to get into the best relationship of your life. When you are going out, you need to be around equally yoked, marriage-minded men who want what you want. Going out for the sake of going out to your local dive bar is not going to be enough. You need to be strategic as to where you go, right? If you were looking for a particular position, you want to be an assistant principal. That's what you want. You want to be an assistant principal. Cool. You are not going to walk into libraries asking, hey, are you looking for an assistant principal? I just got the certificate and I want to start working in that position. They would say, no, we don't hire assistant principals. We hire librarians, right? So you have to go around and be in the environments where you're looking for the right fit and they're looking for the right fit, and it makes sense. So those who are in my coaching program, not only do I teach them how to find events in their city so that they can be around equally yoked marriage-minded men, but I also give them events across the country that they can be attending in their city locally, because my clients come from across the country and around the world, in their city, as well as, so in everyone's city is my point. All right. So that's 4. This is the final step onto how to get into the best relationship of your life in under 12 months. This is what I teach my clients. And this is how I get results and have hundreds of clients who are in healthy, committed relationships, engaged, married, buying houses, having babies, traveling the world, having the companionship that they desire, being poured into and pouring into somebody else. Got it? Good. Okay. So step 5 is learning how to build a healthy relationship, because the first 4 will have you having a great time, going on great dates with great people. It does not mean that you are actually moving the needle towards a healthy, committed relationship. That's step 5, right? So learning how to communicate, learning how to conflict resolute so that you can move the needle and get in the direction that you desire for a healthy, committed relationship. That is how you're going to win in your love life. To go back to the original question, if you're just coming in, hello, hello, hello. This is our weekly live Q&A. The question is, do you work with people who are already coupled? I do. I do not work with couples. There's a difference. So my Partner You Deserve program for my singles, once they're in healthy, committed relationships, they then continue to the next level of support, which is called Rules of Engagement. That's another 12-month mentorship program that helps my girlfriends become fiancés and wives in a healthy way with the right man. All right. So that's continuing education. I do sometimes open the doors to those who did not go through my Partner You Deserve. So they're coming in already partnered, but I have a strong vetting process because I want to make sure that whoever you're with is a good man. If they're not a good man, the program is not going to work. Instead, it's going to work against you. And that's not what I want. I want it to work in partnership with a good partner that you've selected. So I absolutely do work with women who are in committed relationships with a good man to help you move the needle towards a healthy, committed marriage. Does that make sense? Is that fair? Okay. So I am going to check real quick, see if there's any questions that are coming in. I don't see them. And so this is what I'm going to do. Oh, Jenny said gorgeous. Thank you, Jenny. I appreciate you. If you're coming in on Instagram, come over to YouTube so that we can engage. All right. Nikki says, I loathe when people use the excuse, that's just how I am. taking no accountability. Oh, I haven't heard that in years. I have not heard that clean in 10 years. I'd like to think that that is a marker of maturity, Nikki, that if you just come in, Nikki just said, I loathe when people use the excuse, that's just how I am, taking no accountability. I haven't heard that phrase even online, because my people are not that ridiculous. I haven't heard that phrase online in at least 10 years. I'd like to think that that's a marker of those who are in my algorithm, even though I have crazy people in my algorithm. I'd like to think that's a marker of maturity where people aren't saying that anymore because they recognize that that's just the way you are. It's number one, not a true statement. That's how you are showing up right now as a result of something. I'm not going to say trauma, everything is in trauma, but you're showing up in a very particular way as a result of something. Yes, babies are born with a is it predisposition? I think that's the word. Yeah, deposition would be law, right? Predisposition. But generally speaking, the way that we show up is a result or a reaction to something that has transpired. That's not the way that you are. That's the way that you're showing up right now. And once you recognize that the way that you're showing up right now is not suiting you, it's not helping you fulfill your goals, your needs, your desires, that means you need to show up differently. And again, like I said, if you have access to therapy, you're going to find a therapist and work with one. If you do not, you are going to grab a book and you're going to piecemeal it. And if you cannot afford a book, I'm going to put it like this. Never mind. If you can't afford a book, then you need to go to YouTube University. All right. I have 15 people who are on the live right now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please make sure that you like, subscribe, do all the things, that this has been valuable to you. And we are going to wrap up here. The next time you're going to see me should be live on YouTube Friday, 12 noon Eastern. But I do have to go. Number one, I got to go get my kids. And then I need to be right back because I have a mentorship meeting with my ladies who are part of my private Patreon group, the Future Wives Club. I'll make sure I have the links available for you guys so that you can show up differently. If that means joining my private community, I think it's $30 a month where we have semi-monthly. I've been saying bi-monthly, and that's not true. Semi-monthly means twice a month. Semi-monthly meetings, and you have access to me to ask your questions in a private space, or it looks like coaching. You need to do something different to get a different result. It's been a pleasure. She said what I was thinking, but I'm just going to put it up there and let y'all read it for a second and then remove it. It's been a pleasure, y'all. I got to go get my babies and then I have my mentorship meeting. Have a good one. Night.